with this Empire review, because I'm going to be honest, I started not to do this review because the episode really wasn't all of that to me. Okay, this is Empire Season 2, Episode 15, I believe, and it starts off with Hakeem. He seriously looks like he's shooting a music video, and there's strippers all around. It's like a male version of Rihanna's Poured Up. Laura gets mad, so all of a sudden she comes to the strip club and she comes inside. And Hakeem gets up off of laying on this girl's butt. And I'm thinking, if I walked into a strip club, and first of all, if I walked into a strip club and my husband was there, I'm tearing the whole place down, okay? But if I walked into a strip club and my fiance was laying on a stripper's butt, like, ooh, Jesus, okay? Call the police, okay? But anyways, so she talks to him and she's like, what is going on with you? You haven't been returning my phone calls. You have some app on your phone where whatever you're doing, people are following you. And so people can see you in real time at this strip club, just like losing your mind, singing along to the track like a freaking idiot. Like this is a music video. Like, it's a mess. So she says, you know, why aren't you calling me? Why aren't you communicating with me? And then he said, well, I figure you hate me. Like, I've lost everything. She said, I'm your fiance. Like, we need to talk. You need to communicate. It was like, even though I got Anika pregnant, and she was like, bam. Because what? He was like, but it wasn't when we were together. And she was like, deuces. Okay, so Andre, he tells Cookie, he says, well, we need to get Cookie back in, we need to get Lucius back into that CEO position. So, you know, we need to appear as a united front. Andre thought it would be a great idea. Hey, he just put out this video about the Dwight Walker and his mother and with the bipolar disorder. Why don't I be the poster child for that? We will show up to this event and the board will be there, and you can have a poster of me and I will speak out about it, and then that will relate to his video and we'll look stronger than ever. It would be great for the image, which I totally agreed with that. I'm surprised he kind of wanted to play off of his own disorder, but if he felt like he could handle it, then fine. Lucius is hanging around the thought reporter. Now, I could tell she was a thought from the beginning. When she first came in contact with him, I could tell like she's going to try to sleep with him. But I could always tell that she had bad intentions. Whatever the case, Lucius and the thought are sitting down and they're having like lobster or something. Like, Lucius, you tripping. Okay, whatever. So then Cookie walks in. She's like, do I smell fish or something? Killing me. So all of a sudden she's like, okay, I'll leave. He's like, okay, I'll send a car to get you later and we can get dessert. So Cookie is like, you're gonna have to disinfect this chair. I mean, if you're just asking for an STD, okay, great. Whatever the case, they have this playful banter back and forth, and then all of a sudden Anika and Hakeem show up, and they show up because Anika has revealed to Hakeem that his father had threatened her and her pregnancy and her baby and all of this. So Hakeem comes to confront his father and say, hey, nothing is going to happen to her or that baby. And that's why she's talking about moving out of town now. And if she does move out of town, you will never see me again. Because when he spoke to Anika earlier that day, Anika said, well, I don't know if I want you in my baby's life. And I was like, come on, girl, because you did not produce that baby by yourself. Like, Hakeem is not a bad person. Now, if that was Lucius and he was like cutthroat and dangerous like that, now I would kind of understand, because Lucius has no mercy for anyone. Jamal, he is somewhere. Oh, he's in Empire. And then all of a sudden he sees his first boyfriend. What's his name? Michael? He was happy to see him. Then he was like, hey, when you have a minute, hey, do you want to like get away for a second? I'm thinking, oh Lord, what's about to go down? But it wasn't nothing like that. All of a sudden, they're at like some spot that they first met at, and it's where they have kind of like open mic night and stuff. And then of course they offer Jamal to sing, just like I knew it would go. He goes up there and sing. He's doing his, you know, little like lamb voice, but then it's kind of a different style too, so it's not that bad. But since he sings every episode, it literally drives me insane. Like, I don't think Hakeem raps every episode. I don't even hear Tiana sing every episode, but this dude has to sing every episode. It's just, give me a break. Anyways, so he's happy. He feels like this is like, you know, free to him. He's not worried about all the politics and all the business behind the music and everything. He's just doing what he loves. Whatever. Nothing ended up going down between him and Michael. But they had all agreed to come together for Lucius's event. Well, meanwhile, we do see that Hakeem is stressing out about this whole thing with Laura, and Laura shows up at his house, and he's talking to her about it. He's like, look, I gotta be there for my baby. And she was like, well, where does that leave me? He said, okay, well, I am the father of the baby, Anika will be the mother, and you will be my fiance. It's that simple, but I can't walk away from my responsibility. And she says, well, the way that family works is different to them. So she takes off the ring and she gives it back to him. And then she walks out. His phone is going crazy. It is Anika. Well, Cookie shows up to Anika's house, and when she shows up, the ambulance is there, and they're wheeling Anika out. They're rushing to the emergency room. Cookie takes the ambulance with them, and Anika will not calm down, so Cookie helps her calm her breathing, and she's trying to get in touch with Hakeem, but Hakeem is in the middle of a conversation with Laura. When Laura finally gives him his ring back and she leaves, he checks his messages, and it's because his mother has been letting him know that Anika is in the hospital and he needs to come there to come check on her. They don't know what's going on. Okay, so then all of a sudden, Lucius and Miss Thought Reporter, he like shuts down his club Leviticus and brings her in there like she's somebody special. They start flirting back and forth like they've always had, and then of course they're ready to, you know, get down with the get down. We all knew that was gonna happen. Well, they're being like extremely like rough and crazy with each other, and I'm thinking to myself, like, Lucius, like, I already don't trust her. Like, all she has to do is say, like, you went too far with her, you're too aggressive or whatever. But whatever the case, his phone is ringing. It's Cookie, and he's saying, okay, I'm going to have to answer this. Well, the girl gets mad, and she's like, well, maybe I shouldn't do a story on you. I should do a story on Cookie and with her ghetto trifling self and how she has so much control over the Lucius Lyon. And so he pushes her back, like, to let her know it's real. Like, do not ever talk about Cookie like that in your life ever. So I was a little taken back by that because I'm like, are you feeling Cookie? Like, what is going on? Okay, so anyways, he gets the call or text from Cookie, and basically it's like, hey, your grandbaby, something could be happening with Hakeem's baby and Anika's baby. So he rushes to the hospital, and at that point they're all at the hospital. Anika's mother was there, and she's like snapping on Hakeem, like, where have you been? She's been pregnant for 5 months. Now, if you ask me, this girl does not look 5 months pregnant, and if she has been pregnant for 5 months, she didn't say anything to him until recently. So what do you expect? Like, get the details from your daughter. But anyways, so then all of a sudden we see that he's like, you know, I'm really sorry, blah, blah, blah. Can I see her? He goes into the room, and then all of a sudden Lucius shows up. Then Hakeem comes out and he says, I can't believe you said what you said to, what you did to Anika. And then he's like, what did I do? And so he's like, well, Anika said that you basically had her father like sign some fraudulent paperwork to get the company to go public and all this, and that. And he's like, yeah, so, okay. And I'm thinking, why is this a concern of yours? Because you're not even with Anika. Like, y'all don't have an actual relationship. Like, she did that with him. Like, that's their business. Why are you mad about that? If I were you, the only thing I'd be mad about is if he did something to my baby or my pregnant, baby mama. Like, that's crazy. So whatever the case, we have no idea why Anika's in the hospital. Lucius is having a conversation with Hakeem, and he says, you know, I'll call off my goons, whatever. I'm not going to do nothing to Anika, and, you know, I respect you, blah, 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 because you came and stood up to me, yada, yada, yada. And then he's talking to Cookie in the hospital, and Cookie's like, where's your little thought at? And he's like, well, you know, nothing happened between me and her. You know, I like more of like a hood type of woman. She has curves and da da da. And Cookie was like, you had her, you should have kept her. Okay, clearly talking about herself. He was like, why don't you come over here? Playful banter, whatever. And so the next thing you know, we're at the party where the board is there, and then all of a sudden, Andre, he's getting ready for this speech. Jamal gets mad because Lucius says some smart aleck comments to him like he always does. Jamal should be used to this, so whatever. Jamal leaves, and he's going to go perform at that little spot that he was at with Michael earlier. And Frida is there. He lets Frida in. He performs for them. It's great. Well, right before Lucius was supposed to go on to do a speech with Andre, the little thought reporter comes up to him, and she reveals that like Lucius snaked her or something because he sold his story to somebody else. So all this work she's done will be for nothing. And all of a sudden she goes up to Andre and she has pictures. I knew she had ulterior motives the whole time. So all of a sudden, she gives Andre the pictures, has him look through them, says there's a woman in a group home, and the woman goes by the name of Leah Walker, and she is believed to be your grandmother. So, of course, Andre is furious. So Andre storms out. You already know that he's going to go look for the girl. Look for his grandma. It starts, Andre is not there, and Lucius is up there talking with Cookie, and the thought reporter, you know, she's like trying to like haggle them from the audience, and Thirsty is his number one goon. He got him out. He got her out of there immediately. And then Cookie announces, hey, all of the lions are going to perform together at some award show, whatever. It's going to be great. And everybody's clapping and happy. All of a sudden, the board comes up to Cookie and Lucius, and they said, you know, we don't really want to look for an outside person to become the CEO. Just by the way you two work together, we can already tell we want you guys to be co-CEOs together. Well, Cookie knows how Lucius is, so she's like, you know, we're gonna have to talk about this. And he's like, no need to talk about it. I love that. I would be honored to work with her. And they're like, great, so we don't have to think about it anymore. You guys are the co-CEOs. So she's like, Lucius, are you serious? Because I know you want all the shine. So then he's like, yeah, it's fine. And then he gives her a hug, but really he has this devious look in your eyes, and he's like, I got your back. And I'm like, come on now, Lucius. Like, of all people, you could not be plotting on Cookie. Like, she did 17 years for you, and she's very loyal, and she's the one that is bringing all of this together. So, you know, but Lucius is evil. And next week, the grandma will come along, and Lucius is going to be shook. So I'm really excited to see that. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe. And check me out at Mrs.